Welcome everybody to our orientation day and to this breakout session on the Bachelor of Arts. My name is Professor Kate Douglas. I am from the English discipline and I am also the Bachelor of Arts coordinator. So really this session has a lot of information in it and I'm going to try and get through it reasonably quickly because I have a getting to know you game. Told you. If we have time for the getting to know you game, if you ask me like a million questions, we won't have time for it. So it's entirely up to you whether we do it. But really this session is an opportunity for you to ask us anything. This is your entree to your university experience, and we want that to be really, really positive. And I think in this degree you will find some absolutely spectacular teachers and some really engaging topics that you will do. So whatever you end up doing, we welcome you and we're excited to be on this journey with you. So hopefully you were down at the session in the Humanities Courtyard. That was a wonderful ceremony and I think got us to think about the ways in which, no matter our cultural background or heritage, that we need to think about the original people of Australia and how we might incorporate Indigenous knowledges and ways of learning into our practice as scholars, which is what we all are here. So I think you'll find that no matter what subjects you end up doing, you will see a strong indigenising of the curriculum and a really important commitment to that. So that's me, I'm the course coordinator. So I am also, who's doing Arts 1001? Probably all of you, great. So I am also the coordinator of that topic. It's a brand new topic, we're really excited to run it. I love a good brand new topic. I've been teaching here for a long time and teaching English, and this is the first time I've taught something other than English here at Flinders. It only took me 20 years, so that's good. But I'm really looking forward to teaching that topic. It's going to be incredibly exciting and vibrant, and I think whatever we want it to be. There are two other arts core topics. The second year one, which is coordinated by Chris Natalia, who hopefully you just met down in the Humanities Courtyard, and Claire Whitley, both tremendous teachers who you'll really enjoy meeting them. And our Arts 3001 topic coordinator is Giselle Baston, and that's the end part of your degree where you get to do something exciting like a project or go on a placement. But the great thing about the Bachelor of Arts is you will meet many, many staff members over your journey and hopefully get a real sense of what matters to us here at Flinders and you know, the things that we're really good at. So you're probably all coming from different pathways into Flinders, and that's another thing that we love about Flinders Uni, that we get students from all different backgrounds and walks of life. So who's coming straight from secondary school? Great. TAFE. Transferring from, yeah, awesome. Transferring from another degree, or who has come here from working? Great. And I'm sure there are other reasons too, and maybe as we chat, as we go through this session, you can tell us. But we do recognise that people learn differently, and that's, you know, not an issue for us. We're very much committed to the different ways in which students learn and the different pathways that you've taken. So we don't want anyone to feel like university isn't for them, and if you do feel that way, you can come and talk to us, but if you want it to be for you, we believe it will be for you, especially this degree. So we got a bit of a, like this is a bit of a welcome template, and I think some of these prompts are quite fun. But the idea of your intellectual journey starting here might sound a bit amusing, but we really do see education as a journey. We really do see it as something we're doing together. Hopefully you'll meet some really wonderful people here at university. You'll get excited about the things that we talk about, and the notion of discovering and following your passions doesn't need to be something that is out of scope. Like, we want you to be happy and we want you to feel like what you're doing with us is meaningful and relevant to the world that we live in. So you'll interact with lots of people here at university. Most students are studying face-to-face, which means you turn up to the classes that are scheduled on your timetable, you sit in a room with other people and we have some great conversations. That's pretty much what it looks like. Some students will be studying online, and this is being streamed and recorded now. And if you are an online student, we encourage you to get in contact with us because the learning can be a little bit different between different topics depending on your discipline. There really isn't a one-size-fits-all model for online learning, whereas I guess your face-to-face learning might look quite similar depending on the discipline. So do get in touch if you're an online student, because I think it would be, perhaps I've had a few students already get in contact with me, and not all of them were first years. Lots of, I got a third year English topic, and a lot of them were like, what is this online thing? What do I have to do? So, don't feel bad if this is a new experience for you. We're happy to guide you through that. So the modes of learning, you might have lectures, you might just have seminars, which is just smaller group learning. And there are lots of people to support you. So professional staff are the most important people at this university because they have the most knowledge, and so they are our problem solvers. And I guess the people that students are able to access information from about their degrees and their pathways and their timetables and what's permissible. So very, very important relationship that you'll have with our professional staff. Academic staff, people like me, who will do this sort of teaching and be there for you in the classroom. And we're available for you to send messages to. There's an inbox mailing system on Canvas, which I'm hoping to encourage students to use because I think it's a good way to contain our email. But we also have regular email that you can contact us through. The other really important source is your peers. And I think perhaps the last few years, but even before COVID, we were seeing kind of, a bit of an evaporation of peer relationships at uni because everybody's so busy, so students kind of come on campus, they do their studies, they disappear to their job or their other commitments, and we get that. We're not going to tell you to change your life around so you can spend more time on campus, but we do really want you to feel connected to the people that you're in the classroom with, whether that be us and your peers, and really hopefully get those relationships being meaningful to you. And oftentimes your peers can be a really great source of information if you don't feel like you're on top of something or you're not really sure what the best secondary sources are for your assignment. Sometimes it's your peers that will have the answers to your questions. The course info for the Bachelor of Arts, I feel like you're probably mostly across this, but there's basically, if I can click on this and take us there, it's a real wealth of information around what the Bachelor of Arts is, the course structure, I think, so you can look ahead and see what it is that you'll be doing throughout your degree. So we do have, most people who come to study a Bachelor of Arts do so because they have a real passion for drama or history or English. Always going to put English in the frame, obviously. They might do some other subjects to get a real sense of you often end up doing something that you didn't expect to be doing. But we also have some core topics. Like I said, they're brand new, they're very exciting, and they're kind of meant to be the hub of your learning. So in that space, you'll be able to bring all of the things together you're doing, get some pastoral care, make some friends, develop a cohort, or whatever else it is that you would hope to get out of them. But I think they're going to be really, really good. And I think, I say this, I'm talking myself into it, because, we'll start next week, and I'm like, here we are, this is great, it's going to be awesome. It really is, trust me. So, we also want to mention a few little administrative things about enrolling, because this is things that we have ourselves, perhaps, as in the academics in the room, long forgotten of what it means to sort of turn up at university and go, okay, well, I know I want to study history, but I'm not really sure about any of the other stuff. So hopefully this week, Orientation Week, is an opportunity for you to get on top of some of this administration, and then you can hit the ground running with the really interesting stuff next week, which is the topics that you'll be studying. So enrolling in the topic's really important, getting into the class. If you have any enrolment questions, you can obviously send an email and check whether or not you can change classes or whether or not there's an issue with your enrolment. But this basically gives you a little roadmap as to how you enrol in the subjects that you want to. Does anyone have any questions? And I'm recognising that I probably do not have the answer to this question, but I'll try. You all good? Yes. Yes, so that question was about the difference in enrolment if you're a part-time student. Part-time students, basically fewer topics, so you probably do about half as much, but everything else will be the same in terms of what you will do and as you'll move through. We sometimes have students who do topics perhaps in a different order to other students, but it always works out okay. I don't think we have anything that we think, oh, if you haven't done this first, you must have done this. But if that happens to you, then we can talk you through it, depending on the discipline. I think these problems are pretty easy to solve, I say with great confidence. So get those essentials sorted. Wi-Fi, this is the most important, obviously, slide of this presentation. It's the one thing we really need to know. Last year I was teaching my English, and the students were all sitting there. I walked in and they're like, oh my God, EduRoam is down. And it was like the most catastrophic day I've experienced during my 20 years of teaching here at Flinders. It was a bad day. You know, people had to hotspot themselves. It was a disaster. No, but yeah, basically, EduRoam, best thing ever. You can go to a different part of Australia, be wandering down the street, and you'll get logged into an EduRoam if you're anywhere near a university campus, or all over the world. My sister's somewhere on campus today, and she's visiting from the UK, and she's like, she sat down in my office, and she's like, oh, EduRoam. So, you know, life's good, right? Hopefully this all works out and you can come to class. I guess there's let's sort of mention this because I was thinking this in relation to the arts topic that I'm teaching next week, that most students tend to bring some kind of device to class, whether it be a laptop or an iPad or their phone, because sometimes we might ask a question that students, you know, have to do something. So that's okay if that's what you want to do. If you're a pen and paper kind of person, that's okay too. We'll work through all of that. And if you're doing something that requires a computer, there'll be somebody in your class or your group that you can pair up with. So that is all good. See, I'm looking at this slide and going, wow, there's things for me to learn, right? I don't know. So Compass. I don't even know what Compass is. No, I'm glad you don't either. Jared, do you know what Compass is? Nope, good stuff. We have the right people. So I'm guessing all of this stuff, look, it looks like it has a really cool 1, 2, 3, 4, like steps that you can follow. So that looks reasonably intuitive, even for someone like me who's never seen it. So again, do feel free to ask us any questions and we'll try to help you with that. But there's plenty of people who are much more equipped than us to answer enrolment questions. And I imagine that even though they're very flat out at this time of year, they'll be very, very quick to respond and help you. Oh, ID cards. Yes, very important for borrowing from the library, although I expect you probably don't even need one to borrow from the library anymore. I could be wrong on that. I haven't borrowed a book from the library for quite some time. What was that? You do need one? Great. I thought there might be some kind of like, you know, touch the screen and know who I am. Yeah, it was coming. You know, it's just all ahead of us. Yes. Okay, so ID card, really important. And obviously in terms of verifying you're a student, for other things in the community, this student card, really important thing to have. Right. So we've got a little sort of week 1 to 2 guide of what you should be doing. So orientation week, you are here. So, I mean, you know, that's a massive good head start, I think. So orientation sessions, you're here, great. Make sure you have the ID card, check your enrolment. So it says make sure you have access to a laptop computer. Like I said, possibly not essential in all of your subjects, but I expect a lot of students will have them and it'll be fine. Request after hours access and access to rooms needed for your studies. So again, you know, you might want to toddle into campus at some ungodly hour to finish them, get some peace and quiet from your friends and family. I'm not sure. And it says get familiar with Flow. So Flow is our alternatively called Flow or Canvas, because we moved from 2 different systems to save confusion. I'm sure we're going back to calling it Flow now that we're all on Canvas. But this is a really important part of your studies. It's basically our online learning platform, and pretty much everything you will need for your studies will be on there. And any questions that you have, you might, you know, think, oh, I could just flick the lecturer an email, but most of the time there'll be somebody on there who might have already asked, or the lecturer has already put the information on. And the Canvas sites, Flow sites, have gone live as of yesterday, so you can go on and have a look at your topics. And get a real sense of what's going to be happening over the next few weeks. My Arts 1000 is up, except it's missing a couple of weeks because I'm still missing some information. This is what happens when you have to work with other people. It's like group work for adults. It's good fun. But yeah, so it's pretty much up there. But what will probably happen in your first class, whether a lecture or a tutorial, is that your lecturer convener will run through and they will give you a really nice little summary of what you should be doing and when you should be doing it. And it's a really good opportunity for you to maybe come to that class. And if you have any sort of thorny questions, you can ask them to that person. Oh, that pretty much just says everything I just said. Yes, Prudence. So that's really good advice. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so brilliant. So campus map. Yes. Oh, hi, Chris. Okay, so I'll just repeat that. So find your class. So if you're on campus today, might be a good opportunity to have a little wander around and find where your first couple of classes are. Great advice, because yes, there's social sciences south, there's social sciences north. It's, there's only one letter difference, and they're near each other, and it can be confusing. Yes, and Chris's advice was, even if you're running a little bit late, don't feel embarrassed, please turn up. Because I imagine you probably do think that. You think, oh, it's 20 past, I'm not going now, I can't do it. You won't be the only one who has ever done that to the lecturer in the room. I've even had students who've had to get up about 10 minutes in and go, I'm in the wrong room. And I'm very sympathetic to that, because and it must be, a very difficult thing to go, oh, should I just sit here and listen to this philosophy lecture that I'm not doing? So, yeah, and, just read. I think the kind of general theme here is do reach out if you have any questions or concerns. And if you do, don't be embarrassed to ask for directions either, because I feel like the first week is just being asked for directions by students, and I don't mind that. So, week one, possibly most of your classes, we tend to kind of hit the ground running now. Most of your classes will probably begin in week one. Occasionally people start in week two for reasons of kind of spreading things out. So do check on your timetable. Your timetable will be the most up to date. Sometimes we have room changes that happen at the last minute, and they even kind of hit us. It's like, oh, thanks for that email, because I was literally just about to walk to the wrong room. So do have a check possibly at the last minute, and double check that you're still in the room that you think you're in. If you have an access plan, so access plans are for students with disabilities, and I think, again, I've met lots and lots of students over the past few years who have come and chatted to me about this and felt a little bit like, oh, I can't go and do that because I'm not really sure whether this is the right path for me. It is the right path for most students who feel like they might need that extra support. You can go and talk to the people at Disability Services and get an access plan. When you get that access plan, it's a super kind of confidential document. It doesn't lay any personal information out. It just lets your lecturer know that you might need some extensions or some different kind of learning conditions in the classroom. So that's all it kind of discloses to us. So I would encourage you to do that and get on top of that early. And if you haven't got on top of it, you can still let your lecturer know that you're going to go and get one, and that's happening in the next couple of weeks. Because this room is full of academic nerds, what we'll tell you is that planning is the best thing ever, right? Show me a person who plans and I'll show you my best friend, right? Planners, we are planners. And planning it's not a one-size-fits-all model, but I know that students do all sorts of different things. They do big calendars and put their assignments in highlights, or they use a diary, or they use an electronic prompt. Whatever it is that you use, we just encourage you to come up with a system that works for you. You might already have one, great, but give yourself time to plan ahead and get on top of assignments. There's nothing worse than getting up one morning or going into class and someone says, how are you going with the assignment? And you're like, what assignment? Whoops. No one likes that. So again, this will happen in your first class, that your lecturer will go through the assessment and sort of flag sort of how it will go. So yes, hopefully that sort of says that my email open in the background. Whoops, sorry. So do plan. Get in the habit of checking my university email regularly. This is really important because, again, things are going to come up. Also, your Canvas mail is the other one that you should be checking, where things sometimes change. Your lecturer could be sick and maybe wants to go online that week, or it could be some extra information that might be really important for your assessment. They could be giving a blanket extension to everybody. You don't want to miss out on that info, right? So do keep in contact. I think that's probably one of the biggest issues for us as academics. We feel like we're trying to communicate, and a student will say, I haven't checked my email in 3 weeks. And so we can't help you. Help us help you. That's the end of that TED Talk. Oh, okay, Joe told us about the Lost on Campus. That's brilliant. How awesome. Use that. Yes, Chris. What was it?
I think it's outdated and doesn't work on all new devices.
Oh. It needs an after. We could check.
Let's go find this room.
Oh, did you?
I use the website to find it.
Yeah, I think the app.
Look at all these resourceful people finding their way here to us. Yeah.
They might be, they've changed and updated the bus.
Excellent. Well, that is impressive. Yeah. And I was going to say, I said by mistake. I thought you were like, I'm planning ahead. I came here a week early. I was like, everyone pay attention. This is the one you want to sit next to in class. All right, so different ways. Hopefully this app is working. So by the time you've got through week 1, week 2 will come very quickly and will really be into the kind of guts of the semester. So we want you to feel really comfortable to come to the seminars. It's a bit awkward when we start, right? It's awkward for us too. We just want everybody to be happy, and we spend a lot of time worrying about whether or not students are happy, or they think we're, middle-aged and boring or whatever. We really want you to be happy. I was told the other day, last night at dinner, I realised that Riz was short for charisma. See? I'm like the coolest person I know for that. But then my daughters looked at me blankly like they hadn't even worked that out either. They just willingly use Riz all the time. So there you go. She's 12, so that seemed like, completely out of kilter with your age group. That might be why. All right, so getting to know classmates, I've already sort of raved about that and how important it is that we all get along and have a great time and meet each other. Are you sitting up there wondering about what it is, Prudence? Yeah, you're cool. Yeah. Yeah, okay, good. I know, I see it. So, get to know your classmates and use the class. I mean, that's another thing I think happens. We don't mind you messaging us immediately after class to say, I have a problem. But we do like it when you come and talk to us at the end of class, right? That to us seems like a meaningful use of all of our time, that we use that time to get things out that are troubling us or worrying us. And oftentimes it's the same things that are worrying you, that are worrying the person in the next chair, which is, I don't know what I'm doing, I feel like I'm behind, whatever it is. So we've talked about the library, other support services, and I've got a couple more slides coming on these, but I do want to mention the Student Learning Support Service, which I think is really important, especially when you start first year. They have all sorts of workshops in person, online, and a bunch of really, really qualified and incredibly helpful and lovely people who you can get academic help from. And so if it's basic things that you're concerned about in terms of things like time management or writing or editing or referencing, they're a really good place to have that conversation. Become familiar with word processing programs and other software required. So you should be able to get all of that through Okta. All of the software is available. So if you need to use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, your email, all of that stuff will be in there. So you will be laughing.
And you can find out what programs you need through the
Yeah, and I mean, really, it's probably the most pertinent thing you'll need is something to write your assignments on. So Microsoft Word will be what probably most of you use, or the online version, but that's all accessible through Okta. So by week 3, we will, again, and we'll try really hard, especially because your first years, to do this kind of reminder time work, I guess, in suggesting that this is a time when you might start your assignment. But we're also suggesting that, it's helpful to you to learn those skills and be able to think, I've got an assignment due in 3 weeks, I really need to probably be on some phase of it now, whether that be planning or whether that be getting references or whatever it is. And I think you'll probably also find that most of your first year topics will help you through some basic things like, where do I get the resources I need for my assignment? I don't think you'll be left hanging by any discipline on this. There'll be classes and discussions about this is where you should go to find this assignment, this resource. This is roughly how many resources you'll need. These are what the resources look like. The other big conversation we tend to have is around plagiarism, because again, we don't see this as students' fault or students' problems, but students often come in with referencing skills that need some work. And that's not something to feel bad about if you're not sure. We'll help you with that. Do ask questions, said that a lot. We don't expect you to know everything, and we don't want you to feel embarrassed if you don't. I sort of tend to start every class with a conversation about being respectful to each other, obviously, but then another question, another discussion point about, no questions are silly questions. We really are here for you and wanting to make your experience good. Do contact your lecturer, tutor, if you're not able to make it to class, because we will miss you, because we do take attendance. Pretty much, I would suggest every discipline's on the same page in the arts degree. So do let us know if you're unwell. There's also a sort of a hybrid form for most topics that will sort of provide a little safety net for you to attend if we have another wave of COVID, for example. So in week 4, attend Success Week events. Does anyone know much about Success Week? I remember we did have it last year, didn't we? Well, if Chris doesn't know, I don't feel so bad. I'm guessing it's strategies around making sure we catch students who might be feeling something that is the opposite of success. So if you're feeling like you're struggling, getting close to that census date, making sure that you're either going to stay or you're going to go, because if you're going to go, you want to go and not have spent the money on the topic that you didn't continue with. So having those conversations, and if you do leave, we'll try and make that process useful rather than traumatic. Yes.
I just say, it's okay to leave. Like, if you decide that this topic is not for you, or if you decide that university is not for you at this time, for whatever reason, that's fine. We can help you leave in a planned way rather than just kind of fading out. It might be too that we can help you find the resources or supports that will let you stay if you want to. But if you talk to us, we can figure out the plan. And that's what I want to do for you, is figure out a plan. We don't want anyone here who doesn't want to be here. It's not rude. Except that it's not me.
That's really good advice.
Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so really good advice. And so I think that kind of acknowledging where you're at if you're struggling and starting a conversation with your tutor is probably the first way to work out whether or not this is a stay or go situation. Prudence. Oh, good one. See, this is a thing, I love that you're here to pick me up on these things, because it is. We speak in, this is a good point to mention, that we do tend to speak in institutional language, and sometimes we forget that you don't know what things are because you haven't been here. It's like when I go to meetings in my capacity as arts coordinator and people start talking about the ABCs and the DEFs, and I'm like, what are they? I don't know. Please don't speak in acronyms. So do pull us up, okay? And if we use it as something to say, I don't know what that is, and everyone in the room will go, oh, thank goodness someone said it, because I didn't know either. So census date is, you're probably all aware that every time you do a topic at university, it costs you money. You don't necessarily have to pay for it straight away if you're using the pay later scheme, which is not called HEX anymore, it's called HELP. Help me pay for my degree. That's not even funny. So if you get to a certain date, and I believe that date is around week 4, and then you decide I'm out, or if you fail, then you'll have to pay for that. So we like to be aware of census date. I am very confident that you will receive, again, so checking email is important. I'm very confident that you will receive emails alerting you to the fact that census date is almost here and you need to, so for some people it's not leaving university completely, but if there's one topic that is just not right for them, they might drop out of that one and keep the other 3 or 2 or whatever. So, it's a really good date to be aware of. And like I said, I'd be very surprised if your email inbox wasn't kind of popping around that time with alert, you're going to be stuck here. We're going to lock the doors really soon. No. So, academic integrity, I've mentioned before, I use the word plagiarism. So basically it is that idea of taking work that isn't yours and not acknowledging that it isn't your work. And so please, 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 if things that we say in class and advice we offer on this isn't clear, do let us know, because it's a very common problem that we have here at Flinders, and I think, or any university for that matter. But oftentimes we do see, especially in first year, that students really aren't aware that what they're doing isn't right. And so let us help you with that, because it's just a learning experience of getting it right. Late penalties, probably the same across the college. If you submit an assignment late, we usually take off 2 marks per day out of 100. The extension request portal is on Canvas. We encourage you to use that, and you get to put in and say, I need an extension, please, thank you. And it kind of automatically works itself out, and we approve it or don't approve it, and we all move on, and it's good. So don't be afraid to ask for extensions if you need them. We often find that the most deserving students are the ones that don't ask, and then possibly the least deserving students are very upfront in asking. So again, do keep that in mind when you're thinking, I can't ask because this is not an excuse, right? Like I said, some of the most meaningful excuses I had last year that I genuinely felt a lot of empathy for was my boyfriend split up with me, which is a very common one, and I didn't see it coming. My dog died, /cat, other meaningful pet. I'd sit there and cry when I read those emails. I'm like, extension, yes. And another one is, being sick in a way that you feel like people won't think that's a real sickness. Like, we only get COVID now, right? Like, that's it. If it's not COVID, I'm not really sick. No, sickness.
Even if it is COVID, I'll just keep working, do it virtually.
Yeah, if you're sick, you get time. You take some time off, and we are sympathetic towards that.
Remembering that sickness also includes mental health.
Yes.
Anxiety as well. So this is real, and we know it impacts on you. And so if that's impacting on your ability to do work, let us know, and we can work with your extension. If it's a kind of ongoing thing in your life, maybe talk to counselling or talk to the disability services and think about a learning access plan. These are really useful ways of helping you make your way through university.
Yep, that's really excellent advice. So yes, we will consider mental health as exactly the same as we will consider any other health issues. And don't assume that you're the only person in the class with an access plan. You will not be. There will be, more than you anticipate. And that's fine. So help is available. I hope if we send you home with one message today, that's it. That we're not the kind of people who, say, don't talk to me, I'm important, right? We're not those people. I mean, we have days like that. Just kidding. No, we don't. We really want you to tell us that, something isn't working for you, or you need some extra time. Please just let us know. So again, health counselling and disability services on campus, brilliant people. These people are wonderful. We're so lucky to have them on campus. They are busy, obviously, but I think they work really, really hard to make sure that they can see students in a reasonable time frame. So this is something that is, confidential, and if you need it, we really encourage you to use it. It's all free as well. So perhaps different to other services in the community. So we have a student wellbeing centre on campus called Oasis, which does really interesting work around student health and wellness. And obviously this is something that we are growing in awareness and commitment to in this kind of institution, which I think is brilliant. So be aware again, they advertise, they have social media presence. So if some of their activities that they're offering appeal to you, go on down and join in. It's a nice way to build community as well. We have support for international students if that is you. Obviously some tricky and large questions that often are particular to international students, so we have those supports on campus too. What else can I say? So we've mentioned a few of these things, but really what we do have is a strong commitment to student wellbeing, and we certainly are never going to turn around to a student and say, sounds like a you problem, like we're not going to do that. We're going to direct you to these kinds of services and things. We have equal opportunity advisors, so we have people in the colleges that you can go and talk to if you feel like you have experienced some kind of discrimination. Those people are available for you to talk to. I have no idea what the good vibes experiment is, but it sounds good. Do you know what it is? Anyone know what it is? You do? I like how you went, you were like, it's something good, right? Oh, that sounds excellent. I love that. Yes. Yes. Yes, I do remember Wellbeing Week. They great. Okay, I think Wellbeing Week is nice. It's like I hope every week is Wellbeing Week, but we get our attention drawn to it occasionally. Mentioned all that. Mentioned that. Got these slides given to. No, we got them given to last minute. Like use these slides, and they were already in there. It's like, well, thank you. Yes, mindfulness. And there's occasionally courses that you can do through these organisations too, which is great, like the mental health first aid. I'm still on a waiting list for that about 2 years later though for the staff one. Anyone done it? Well, I have waiting list. Flinders Community Market, that sounds good too. Just everything that, all the information I've been given, here we are. Scholarships, so again, check out the website. There's some new scholarships popping up all the time, and they range from small to sort of medium-sized scholarships, and students of kinds of different criteria, different need. So have a look, and you never know, there might be something in there for you that might be useful and helping you in your studies. We're very much committed to student safety, so if you experience anything, again, I mentioned the equal opportunity officers, they're there for this kind of thing as well, but if it's a basic safety issue, we have a phone number that you can call, if you need to draw someone's attention to something, please do so. And again, don't feel disempowered. It's really interesting, I think, the conversations I have with students sometimes where they tend to kind of operate from a position of disempowerment. It's like, I can't go and ask a lecturer why I got a bad grade, or I don't want to kind of rock the boat. And it's like, well, I guess there are things that happen to you that you don't feel are fair or just. You should feel empowered, and I know that's easier for me to say than for perhaps you to feel, but we will reiterate that throughout your experience. Connect Week. I'm guessing that is next week by the dates. There is going to be, week one on campus is excellent, right? You kind of wish it was like that all the time. There's fairy floss often, and sausage sizzles and fun things. But yeah, if you really do want to feel connected to the on-campus life, and I was saying before that I think often students are really kind of drop in and leave, but if you can allocate some time next week to just having a bit of a wander around campus, I think it'll be a really positive experience if you can do that, and possibly find a club to join or some people to talk to that you have something in common with. So highly recommend. I'll try and do it too, because I've said that you should do it. So semester one key dates, you'll get reminded of these probably, like I said, over and over again. O-Week, you were here, excellent. Classes start. That's the other thing to be aware of. 8th of March is the last day to enrol in topics. So we often get students who come to us and say, I started something and it didn't, click. So can I change? And so you might struggle a bit to kind of hit the ground running on a brand new topic if you change, but in week 2 we will do everything we can to help you and welcome you into the new topic. So again, don't think you're stuck at the end of week 1. If you go to a class and you go, oh my goodness, I do not like this class, you're not stuck. We're not locking the doors, like I said. Census date, I suggested week 4, it's actually week 5, so we've got a little bit more leeway. And the other really important date is withdrawal without failure. So that's week 9, which means you still have to pay for it, but you won't have a fail recorded on your record. So that's another important date to keep in the back of your mind. So top tips. I'm all over it because I said Canvas is probably the most important thing that you need to think about this week and have a look at. Most of your topics will have a little thing that says, hey, introduce yourself. So if you do that, I think you'll go, oh, look, tick, job done. Look at me, off and running. I've got a post on Canvas already. And it's the easiest post you'll probably ever have to make because it's just about you. So do that. Keep an eye out for ping. I mean, I would if I knew what it was. What's ping? Can we celebrate this? Well, I don't know, Chris. I'm just going to draw attention to what was it 10 minutes ago that none of us knew the answer to. So yeah, no. But I'd be keeping an eye.
It tells you about like Empire Times and all the cool stuff going on.
Ping, because this is the problem. We're not students, so we don't see half of the things. Oh. I feel like you've just come to this to troll me, haven't you? All right, but I am, because guess what? I now know what ping is. I have learned something today if no one else has. But I'm telling you, I'd be walking into that first class and I'd be looking for you to go, oh, hello, new best friend. Can I sit with you and be in your group and learn from you, wise person? All right. Yeah. Oh no, truthfully, that's what students do when they have to do group work. And sneak preview, there is some group work in Arts 1001, and I get the students to write down who they want to be in a group with. This is in my third year topic, and someone wrote on last year that those 2 mature age students who were sat up the front, they didn't know their names, they just knew they'd be good, right? And I loved that. I really loved that. I thought that was really great. All right, sorry. Socials. It's a really good way to keep on track of things that are happening at Flinders. If you do, we have a TikTok as well at Flinders. I only know that because to my horror I had to make one last year for open day. Ugh. Loved it. Great. Yeah, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We have the whole lot here, and you can keep on top of some interesting news. And it's great because you can find out what's going on campus and exciting things that people have achieved at Flinders, and it's generally going to, I guess, help that sense of community. All right. Questions for me? Or our other learned friends? Yes.
I have enrolled already, but I have 2 courses that are clashing with each other. So one starts at like 10 and finishes at 12, and the other one starts at 11 and finishes at 2.
Okay, so we're talking about topic clashes. Can you tell me what they are off the top of your head?
Criminology and screening.
Okay, because we don't want this to happen, right? And I know that people who work in timetabling work really, really hard to try for this not to happen. So what possibly you need to work out is which one of those 2 topics is the most flexible in terms of which one you could perhaps do. So is it a tutorial class? I mean, that's the other thing. If the lecture's recorded, you can maybe catch up on the lecture. But if the tutorials clash, then that can be more of a problem. Maybe we need to get you into a different class. Come and chat. Maybe you can come and chat to me at the end about that, because I think I'd like to help you with that.
When we do have clashes, the people who are really good to help you are the people in the front of our college. So it's called the college front. It's in the place where we just met before. That's humanities. There's some stairs. They've got a big house. If you go up there, yes, and also big mini on the house. That's all I was going to say.
So for those online, if you didn't hear that, Chris was talking about the college front and the people who work there who are a really great source, and you can do that whole walk up to someone and they can maybe solve your problem on the spot, as opposed to waiting for an email to return to you 3 hours later.
I'll get one of these so that you can ask questions. I know Prue's saying that I'm a control freak, but actually I'm just trying to help. You had a question?
Yeah, it was a similar sort of timetable thing. There's the core arts, it's like a communications lecture. And I've also got the only spot that my Italian class can be, and they overlap. There's like no... They directly overlap too, and one's in the city, one's at Bedford Park. So I just don't really know.
Okay, go speak to those women. In fact, we're happy to walk you down there after this, and they will figure out what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not ideal.
That'd be interesting to see you make that work.
Is the lecture when we're all on the waiting list, you have to do it online at that point?
For what topic?
The core comms one.
Oh.
Okay.
Because comms is required, right? There's-
But I'm waitlisted, so it's...
You can't be waitlisted. That is...
There will definitely be a spot for you in that.
Yeah. That's good to know. We'll have to sort that out. But that's our job, right? So it's not your job to sort this out. If you can let us know, then we can sort it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know it's easy to say, but don't worry, because we'll
We'll figure it out, honestly. Yeah.
My question is similar to that. I'm studying online fully, and one of my classes hasn't popped up to be registered for the first semester, which I believe is the core communications one. Should I go and speak to those people?
So if I'm understanding your question, so it is that you're studying online and there isn't an online tutorial for you to register in?
It hasn't, like, the three, because I'm doing 4 topics full time.
Yep.
3 of the 4 have popped up for me to register for, like, do the online tutorials and stuff, but one of them is not there, which is...
So this could be a comms problem, that there's something that hasn't opened that's meant to be open.
So we'll take you over if you've got time, and the college people can also check if you're enrolled properly, like all of that stuff. Yeah. It'll be a group excursion.
Any other questions? See, and I was going to say on your point, note how comfortable I was with saying that I didn't know things. Yeah. This is how we want you to all feel.
Yeah.
Can you do additional classes? So I've been told I can do 4 choice subjects, but there's another one I want to do.
I love to hear that for a start. Yeah, I don't know what the rules are. Can you overload it first year? I'm sure you can.
Well, see, I'm technically third year.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
doing my first year subjects last.
You probably are.
Because I'm only doing 3 half days. How do I do? Can these people come help? Come with you.
I mean, I'm more obviously strategic rather than that. But come with us, because those people in the college front will know the answer and will know what to do. Yeah.
Any other questions? Well, it's been really wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciated your attendance and your engagement. And I will be looking forward to meeting you next Tuesday. I had to think then because my class got moved from Wednesday to Tuesday. Next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. In law commerce, of all places.
And it's okay if you're a little bit late.
It is.
So, folks, if you want to come over to the college now, we'll just meet outside in the courtyard, and Kate and I can just walk you all over.